welcome back to our YouTube channel and thank you so much for joining today. If this is your first time here, please do not forget, all right, click that subscribe button below here and please subscribe to the channel so that when next I post a new video like this one, you would be the first to watch. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can migrate to Europe using a visa called a job seeker visa. But before I talk about this job seeker visa in detail, I would like to specify that the country I will be talking about here, all right, the country in which you are going to apply for this job seeker visa is no other country than Portugal. Portugal has a very flexible pathways nowadays, all right. There are a lot of changes that is taking place in Portugal. And if you are in Africa, in Asia, or anywhere around the world, I would encourage you to take advantage of these opportunities. A few weeks back, I talked about Spain, a new visa that was introduced in Spain, which is called the digital nomad visa. All right, with this visa, it is very easy for you to migrate and enter Spain. Now, there is also this visa category in Portugal called the job seeker visa, and I will be talking about this so that I encourage each and everyone, if you meet the requirements, because of course there are going to be requirements for you in order to meet. If you want to apply for this particular visa type, or which is the job seeker visa, you have to meet the requirements. But before I talk about elaborate about the job seeker visa, I want to draw your attention to the fact about some things that you need to know if you want to migrate to Portugal. One, the reasons are, if you want to move to Portugal, you can either move using a job offer or you can move to Portugal as a student. But if you are moving to Portugal as a student, understand that Portugal is one of those places where a lot of international students equally move into, all right? And the reasons is because Portugal has excellent universities that you can study in, including the University of Algarve, the University of Lisbon, all right? Polytechnic Institute de Ielts. There are a lot of them in Portugal. Another reason is Portugal has a lot of flexible opportunities. Like one, it is very friendly to internationals. So if you want to study abroad or maybe move to Portugal, you should know that you would be welcome very easily. They welcome internationals very well in Portugal. Or let me say Portuguese or Portugal welcomes internationals. All right. Another reason, if you are moving to Portugal as an international, you should know that the cost of living in Portugal is not very big compared to other places like maybe the United States, Sweden, and Canada, all right, where cost of living is somehow high. Portugal has a very low cost of living. And if you are moving to Portugal, know that it is a very small country and very proud. People are very proud as well, all right? And equally, you can even learn the Portuguese language if you move to Portugal, thereby increasing your CV. And of course, the weather is very good in Portugal too. Portugal is equally located around the Atlantic. So these are some of the reasons why you should know, or maybe you should be moving to Portugal, or in case you want to move to Portugal as an international student, you should know. Now, let's talk back to our normal visa, which is the job seeker visa, which is the main topic of this video. Remember, with the job seeker visa, you may not get it only for Portugal, but the advantage with it in Portugal, or the advantage for you to get the job seeker visa for Portugal is that there is no education required, all right? There is no Ielts score required. If it doesn't matter if you have gone to school or not. All you need to do is to make sure that you meet the requirements, then you migrate, you apply for this visa and you move. The visa is going to be given to you for 120 days, all right? Then within this 120 days, you must look for a job in Portugal within this 120 days. But if it happens that you are not able to find a job within this 120 days, then you can, let me say, extend the visa for another 60 days. All right, then you look for a job. That is how the job seeker visa for Portugal is. And of course, you have to understand that you can also migrate to other countries like maybe Germany using the job seeker visa. You can migrate to Sweden as well using the job seeker visa, and you can migrate to Austria as well using the job seeker visa. But with this type of visas in these various countries, there is a minimum requirement you need, which is education. That is why the advantage, or Portugal has an advantage over these other countries for you to move to as a job seeker. Now, with this job seeker visa, guys, you need to understand that if you have been rejected before, if you try to apply for a visa, or let's say maybe a particular visa before to Europe, and you were rejected, then this job seeker visa may have complications on your side. All right. The reason is because remember, when you are applying for a visa to the European Union or to the Schengen zone, remember that these countries within the European Union or the Schengen zone, they have what is called a connected system. All right. Their system is connected in such a way that if you are knocked out of Portugal, all right, you may, before you want to apply for Poland, you may, they will know. What I'm trying to say is, if you are getting a rejection, if you are rejected from maybe Sweden, when you are applying for Germany, they will see it in the system. If you are rejected from maybe Poland, when you are applying for Lithuania or maybe Portugal, they will see it in the system. They have a joint, something like a connected system. So if you have been having rejections and the rejections are due to criminal records, this job seeker visa will not be given to you. All right, it is not going to be given to you. But however, if your reasons are genuine and real, you do not have to be afraid of anything. All right, so just know that that is how it functions. Now, within the 120 days that will be given to you within Portugal, because the job seeker visa is going to last for 120 days, you look for a job. However, you cannot leave Portugal within this period. All right, you cannot leave Portugal within this 120 days period. I hope you understand. So you should know that that is what is going to happen. 120 should be around, is it 3 months? Yeah, or maybe above, whatever. Just know that there is a possibility to do an extension. Now, the documents that you are going to be using to apply for this visa, they include a police report. A police report. Before I even talk about the police report, is a document from the police station to show that you have not committed crimes in your country before, or maybe you have not been involved in illegal activities. All right, so this is a document you need. Then the very first document before the police report that you need is even the application form. You have an application form you have to fill in and sign it, because without you filling an application form, they may not know the type of visa that you are applying for. So you have an application form to fill it neatly and sign it. When dealing with visa forms, please be careful, all right, the way you fill them. Now, another document you need is a consent letter or a consent form, all right. Remember to check the video description box. If you need a one-on-one consultation with me, please book an appointment, all right. My emails will be there for other details. So a consent form is also very important because it also shows your character or your criminal ability. Have you been a criminal before? What is your character? How do you behave in society? You have to fill that form. All right. Remember, you are filling the form and your police report is somewhere. So if you have committed a crime and you don't mention it on the consent form, when they see your police report, they will know. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Then you equally need your international passport. And remember that as you are applying for 120 days and with a possible extension of 16 days, join these two together and make sure your international passport does not expire within this period. All right. Then you equally need a travel insurance. A travel insurance now for the Schengen zone. Remember, when you are trying to apply for short stay visas, you will always find a maybe insurance policy saying that, or maybe the insurance policy for Schengen countries saying that you need around 30,000 euros or so. That is not the money you need in order to travel to Portugal with the job seeker visa, all right? They are just putting that money to make sure that you are on track. But however, when you go to an insurance company, maybe AXA, Swisscare, or whichever, you should tell them that you are traveling for this duration and you need an insurance for this duration, all right? They are going to calculate the insurance, the amount that you need to pay in order to get the insurance. They calculate it per day. I think with AXA, or is it Swisscare, it's 0.04 something per day. So they are going to calculate and charge you, then give you the insurance equivalent to that amount. Not like you are going to pay 30,000 euros to an insurance company. I hope you understand. Then you need two passport size photographs. One will be clipped on your visa application form, then the other will be used for another thing. You equally need a to and fro flight. You need to book a flight, all right, showing that the day you are moving and the day that you will return. You need this, all right. You can just book it without payment, all right. For possible sites that you can book flights from, you can check booking.com. it is a very reliable site a lot of people use. Otherwise, you can check other websites that you know, or other hotels that you think, other flights that you think can be booked without payment. You know how to navigate about this, but I think booking.com is going to be the best for you. Then again, you need proof of funds, and this proof of funds is going to be money that you are capable of sustaining yourself with in Portugal during your job seeker visa search, because the visa is a job seeker visa which allows you to move to Portugal and search for a job. You need money, and the amount you need is between 700 and 710 euros per month. All right, so if you are going to be in Portugal maybe for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, remember maximum is I think 120 days. So you have to multiply this by the number of months you are going to be in Portugal, then add that 60 days extension to it. That is just a suggestion that may help you. Add that 60 days let me say extra days to it, that a possible extension, you understand, to it. Then you sum up the money and make sure it is enough, and equally show money that when you return from Portugal, you may sustain yourself with, in case you don't find a job. You have to calculate on a two-way scale. All right, don't just calculate the advantage and drop the disadvantage. If there is a person, or maybe if you have somebody in Portugal who lives and works in Portugal, please, who lives and works in Portugal, this person can draft a consent letter to show that he is going to be feeding you, taking care of your accommodation for the duration of the time you are going to be in Lisbon or Praga or where, or is it Braga or whichever city, all right, or Algarve, it just depends. So you need proof of funds, and it is very important for you to note that. All right, then if you have all these documents now in place, you can then book an appointment at the level of the embassy, maybe through email, through call, or whatever means. You have to check the embassy website to know what you are doing. Then you go and apply for this visa. Again, remember, it takes around 2 to 3 months before you would be able to move to Portugal. All right, and remember, while in Portugal, you cannot travel again except you got the job, or maybe you return to your home country. But note that when you are in Portugal, if you want to maybe use other sites like LinkedIn, or maybe Glassdoor, or maybe other sites, you understand, you can then draft a CV to show that you are looking for a job. Make it more professional, let it look more professional, but not academic. All right, not an academic CV, a professional CV. Make it look professional, then you make it to the Europass format. It should be in the Europass format for you to look for your jobs with in Portugal. All right, you can try other sites while you move from, but if you ask my opinion, I would encourage you to go company to company. Now remember, you are on a job seeker visa. You do not need to sleep again. You need to search like the real giant. Go to companies yourself, approach companies. All right, while you do the other things, when you return home on the laptop, on the internet, the next day you go searching. All right, if you don't go outside to search, you may never know. All right, just the fact that you have a visa, they may give you a job if you go face to face and you meet them. So this is an advantage for you if you think that this is the best way. But if you ask Milton, I would say that if you want to migrate abroad to Portugal without having headaches, without thinking if my visa is this, if my visa is this, use the student pathway. Go for academic studies. All right, then your problems will not be much, because after this visa expire, after these days, you have to return. But with the academic visa, the national visa or the student visa, you can just be living. All right, you study, while you finish your studies, you engage in other things and other activities. It is advantageous that way. All right, I hope this video helps you, and I hope you obtain something from here. Till we meet again in another one, please do not go without subscribing. Subscribe and make sure you turn on the notification bell, so that when I post a new one, you would be the first to watch. Till we meet again.